Hey, what's up everyone? This is Dan Shore at DanShureMusic doing a tutorial today of J. Cole's Sideline Story. I've probably gotten almost as many requests for this one as I did for Blood on the Leaves by Kanye West. So I recorded that cover almost 3 years ago now. I can't believe it. So I had to go back and review the notes, but I've got everything here for you today. So this tutorial is going to move at a pretty moderate pace because if I were to slow it down like really slow, it would be probably over an hour long. So I want to get through everything, but not, take tons of time. So I'm just going to play through everything one time, and then I'm going to break down each section in each hand. So here we go. Sorry about that little mistake there at the end. But that's pretty much the whole form one time through. As you notice, it's not like a perfect A, B, or verse bridge type of thing. So I'm going to explain some of that, but let's jump into the notes. I'm going to show you the left hand first. What I'm going to call these different sections is basically the verse and then a bridge. I don't know if that's the official term for it, but that's what I'm going to call it. So the verse is pretty much when you're doing this melody. Alright, and then I'm going to call the bridge anytime we go into this other part, which is more just chords in the right hand. And that's pretty much how I'm going to refer to the section. So let's talk about the verse first. In the left hand, it's going to begin with an F, and then an E flat and a G. And you're going to notice a rhythm that happens many times in the left hand, and it basically breaks down like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you've got the first two hits are on the beat, and then the second two are off the beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, that left hand does that rhythm many times. So that's the first chord. It's what sets the kind of the tone for the song as the intro, and then it sticks on that when the verse begins. And then the second chord in the verse, you're going to jump with your pinky down to a D flat, and then D flat, F, E. A little trick, you can hit those same two for the price of one there. You can hit both those with your thumb. And then the third chord in the verse, B flat, D flat, F. Same rhythm. Except that only happens for one measure this time. And then you jump down to a G quickly. Sometimes I just leave out that last rhythm to get down there quick enough, and that's fine. And then we're not doing chords for these next two. We're sort of doing chords. So just two G's. G, G, C, B flat, C. Alright, and then basically all that repeats. So let's go ahead and add in the right hand now. I'm going to show you kind of the notes, and then when I mash the hands together, that's when you're going to pick up on the rhythm. So we're going to get G, A flat, B, G. That's the first little melody, and then you're going to jump your thumb down to C here, and you're going to go C, E flat, C, F, C, B flat, G, C. The one note that I hear in other covers and tutorials is some people will go, and I think that note's what happens in the introduction, like the piano introduction, that's just kind of slow. But in the actual song, I believe what we're hearing there is a G. I've listened to it many times, and that's what my ears are picking up. And then that repeats. When it repeats, you can add a little grace note. So it's still C, E flat, C, F, C, but then instead of just hitting that C, you can grace note up from B flat to C. B flat, G, C. And then this next part is where the right hand picks up and does some chords. D flat, F, B flat, and you just hit those all together. And then C, E, technically that's a G sharp or an A flat, and you hit those all together as well. And then all that repeats again on the right hand. So let's put the right hand and the left hand together. This is where it gets a little tricky, but I'll try to break down the rhythm. So the left hand's already going in that pattern. And bringing the right hand in is what's a little tricky. So this is how it works. I'm going to show that to you again. So rhythm is quite simple, actually. If you think of it just as your hands could be hitting together, your left hand by itself or your right hand hitting by itself. And I know it gets a little more complex with fingers and everything, but if you think of rhythm as just together or one hand alone, then it becomes a lot more simple that way. So here's how I would think of this. Left hand's all alone right here. Right hand alone. Hands together. Right hand alone. Left hand together. So again. So that's alone, together, alone, together. When they land together there at the end of that, that's beat one. Beat one of the verse. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's good to know that right hand G comes in on beat 4. So if you're counting along and you're subdividing eighth notes for any of you learning kind of rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Right? So just like I said, stop and rewind the video a few times if you need to, but I'm going to keep moving it along so it doesn't turn into an hour-long video. And next we're going to keep combining the right and left hand together in the verse. So if you notice, the right hand comes in with the melody right after the beat one in the left hand. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. But after that, the right hand's all steady on eighth notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3. Sorry. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Same rhythm here. Now the left hand's just on a different chord. part is the right and left hand both line, they meet back up on beat 1 pretty much every time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So now we're at the part where we're on this B flat chord here. The rest of this is pretty easy. We're just going to do the left hand jumps down to the G, and we hit that. So G, and then the G an octave higher goes with the chord. So G, D flat, F, B flat. And then the C and the left hand is alone. And then the chords are together. So B flat, C, E, A flat, C. Now that's pretty much one cycle of what I'm calling the verse. Alright, now when you hear it kick into the bridge, what I'm calling the bridge, let's cover the left hand first. So we're going to start, it's all octaves for the first measure here, for leading into it. So F, G, A flat, C. And that's just broken octaves. So F, G, A flat, C. And then you're going to hit D flat and hold that. Now I like to add a little inflection here that I kind of hear this rhythm in the song. I'm not sure it's like an exact part, but I add it just to add a little extra color. So you're going to hit the D flat and then so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's just going back and forth between C and B flat. And then you're gonna, the pinky jumps down to B flat, and then I do that same inflection again, C, B flat, C, B flat, C, B flat, and then you come back to the D flat with the pinky, and then you do G, G, C, and then you can do, you can add that E if you want, so C and then E, B flat, C. So that whole part is and then it tricks you a little. It sounds like it's going to go into the verse. So you do this, but then you jump right back to the sound that was in the bridge, and you hit D flat, do the little inflection again, B flat, but this time it's cut a little short because that verse was snuck in there, that little verse piece, and then you go right to your G, 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 C, E, B flat, C. When I bring in the right hand now, that's going to be a whole lot more clear, I think, of how that form works. So the right hand in the bridge goes like this. So broken down, that's C and A flat together, G and B flat together, A flat and C together, and then finally, so that's F, C, and then you can do a grace note, E flat up to F. If you don't want to get that grace note in there, you can probably just hit the F right away, and that will sound fine. And then we're going to do this chord a bunch of times, so F, A flat, C. So we hit that 4 times, and on that 4th beat, we add the B flat in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the second chord, bring in this D flat. So D flat, F, A A flat, C. And again, you do 4 beats and then bring in the B flat. So, and then we bring it back to the first chord, 4 beats, bring in the B flat, and then you're going to go to the other chord again, D flat, F, A flat, C. You just hit that twice, so there's no 4 times on that one, and then you jump right to E, A flat, C. And just hold it. So let's put the right and the left hand together for the bridge. Alright, so the left hand and the right hand kind of mirror one another right here, if you notice that. So we've got the F's and the A flat, so, and then the octave. So I'll do that again slow. Just notice the left hand's the pinky's hitting with the right hand, and then the thumb is by itself. And then the pinky hits the D flat, and the right hand hits the chord. Now, when I add that inflection, that's kind of optional. So if you want to just hit the rhythm, get the rhythm going in the right hand with a chord, that's fine. If you want to add a little extra rhythm with the left hand, you basically bring that in on beat 2 together. So 1 and then 2. Now notice the thumb with my little extra part there is hitting at the same time with the right hand. 2, 3, 4. And the reason why that little part that I added works, I think, is because it mirrors the melody on the right hand. So 2, now watch this, 4, and C, B flat at the same time. Then the second chord is when the pinky goes to B flat, and the right hand goes to D flat, F, A flat, C. Same exact rhythm. And then you go back to the first chord. And then the pinky in the left hand jumps down to G. And you've got D flat, F, A flat, C. You just hit that twice. And then kind of everything together on that very last chord. So C, E if you can, B flat, C, E, A flat, C. And like I mentioned a few times, if this is going quick, it's only because I can't make this an hour-long video, of course. So just pause and rewind if you need to, or leave me a question in the comments. I'm happy to answer if anybody needs anything cleared up. So then this is where the verse sounds like it's going to sneak back in. So and that's just the right hand. They land together on beat 1 with the G and the F here. It sounds like it's going to do the verse, but then the right hand has this little extra melody. So, and that is G, A flat, B flat, G, E flat, C, A flat, C. Now when you land on that C, you're back right into what was the bridge. So, and then you just start right up on that D flat chord. So D flat, F, A flat, C. And then it goes to B flat in the pinky, and This same chord here, D flat, F, A flat, C. Now what happens is, it doesn't go back to the D flat and the pinky now, because we snuck in a little part of the verse that took away a little bit of the bridge. So now we're going to just jump from B flat and the pinky down to that G. And it's the same two chords that ended the bridge the first time. You can hit those all together or break it up. The rhythm kind of varies a little bit, and I kind of do it how I feel it at the time. So now that we've gotten that far, that's pretty much the whole song. But as I said, the form is definitely a little tricky. So I would just watch my cover video, watch the intro of this video, listen to J. Cole, play along with the recording, and I think you'll pick up on the form. So please do let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, I know this went a little quickly, but I really couldn't let the video go, you know, like super long. Otherwise, it'd probably get a little boring as well. Not that it's not boring already. But anyways, I'm going to do a follow-up video talking about some tricks to figuring out hip-hop songs, the notes to hip-hop music that I've never talked about before. And for anyone that's stuck around this long, I appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.